Hello friends, this is Parag here, your host on Stay Strong podcast. I promise to bring informational videos on kettlebell sport, kettlebells and strength and conditioning. Today we have a very special guest from New Jersey. Her name is Valerie Pawlowski. She's 57 years of age, and she started kettlebell sport a little later in her age. She has climbed up the ladder of success very fast, and she's 6 times world champion. She is Master of Sports, and she runs her club in New Jersey. Hello, friends. This is Parag from Stay Strong podcast, and we have a very special guest, Valerie from New Jersey, and I'm very excited. This is my mission to interview 50 top women lifters in the world who are above 50, and I know Valerie for a little longer time. We met last time in 2018 for the World Championships in Italy, and she's doing amazing. And I'm really excited to speak to her about her complete travel journey of the kettlebell sport. Up to you, Valerie. Welcome to this podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm very excited to speak with you and share my experience.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Before we start, I would like to know a little background about you, like your fitness background and your a little professional background.
Well, it's interesting. I came to fitness via television production before this career. And when I was off to college, it was a toss-up. I didn't know TV or fitness, TV. But I'm glad that I did it in this sequence, because when I made the switch to the career of fitness, it was the right timing and the care that people take about themselves. And I always enjoyed being strong. So I went to the gym to work out and found a personal trainer. From there, I wanted to become a personal trainer and do what I could do to improve other people's health and fitness. And along the way came the kettlebell on the scene. And it was a colleague of mine, which was really funny, who would always tell me, don't lift the kettlebell. It looks like you'll pull your arm out of the socket. And I said, okay, but you know what? There's people using this thing, so we must be able to use it. And we found ourselves together at a seminar, and my mentor, Anthony DeLulio, who was the Art of Strength and Punch Kettlebells.
Yeah.
He was teaching it. And immediately I took to it. It was something else, just so different. And I followed him in his pathway. It was Henry Marshall from then who became also a disciple of his. We worked together, and he went into the atmosphere of competing.
Okay.
And I used to look at the videos and say, I don't know, could I do that for 10 minutes? I like to lift weights and I'm very strong, but that's over quick. So the intrigue, and it always starts with that with me. When I see something, I think, can I do that? And I'll never know unless I tried. So yes, we tried, and we picked up the kettlebell, and we found Mike Stefano from New York also to incorporate as our coach. He was very close with Valerie in the beginnings of this for the United States. So it was going to the right people and having that initial coaching that helped us to understand, really settle yourself and be consistent and not overreach.
Yes.
And I followed that with a lot of the other things that I've done. I've done bodybuilding, I've done triathlons, I have competed in a number of different sports. I've trained people to success in that. I became a trainer in 1994.
Okay.
So it's been a lot of years.
Okay. So you are full-time into fitness profession.
Yes. When I made the transition out of the corporate world of television, which was a good move,
Okay.
and into full-time, I worked for a couple of facilities, and I then branched out and wanted to have my own.
Okay. Super. How many years you are lifting kettlebells, Valerie? It's been how many years total?
2008 was when we launched, and we started to train with Anthony.
Okay.
And 2010 was the first time to compete.
Okay. When you started competing, who was your role model? Like, what made you make the decision to get into the kettlebell sport? See, everyone has. I mean, if you ask me, I have watched Valerie Fedorenko, of course, early in 2011. I had an opportunity to be trained with him because I did my formal certification in Chicago only. So I was in US. So like, who was your role model?
So for initially, we were very impressed by the Ice Chamber girls. So the Ice Chamber Kettlebell Club from San Francisco was the really big group of women that came together to form a team, and they were on a mission. And they really set an example and kind of painted the picture for us so that we could see women could do this. And it was that striving and thriving for that. And also Valerie worked with them initially too. So it spawned, I think, a whole movement for us to also join forces with the women on the East Coast and start to crop up, teaching them and instructing them, and then having the competitions locally to strive for and begin. And Catherine Imes prior. So Catherine Imes, very much prior to that, was the one woman that was like, oh my gosh, she's doing this thing with this for 10 minutes. What, are you kidding? And that was the question, could we do it? But then again, we saw this group of women that were starting it up and really teaching it, and then all of a sudden entering the circuit to compete in it.
Yes. I think it's a really long journey for you also to come all the way to be now a professional lifter.
And I wanted it overnight, and boy, did I learn something. I'm not a patient person. It taught me the utmost in patience, consistency, persistence, and really in the long run, the more recent years of just let it go and allow it to happen instead of pushing so hard. I have to say that was a detriment to a little dip in relating to when I did achieve finally Master of Sport in long cycle, and then the snatch came along.
Okay. So when you started lifting kettlebells, what was your favorite lift? You were targeting or concentrating only on one lift for a few years? Like, for example, many people try to master long cycle. Many people do biathlon as their master. That's their main. What is your professional lift? That's the first lift. And the second question is, like, which lift do you want to do, but somehow some things are stopping you? Maybe the mindset, maybe some like I would not say an issue, maybe something which your body is stopping you because of the age. Maybe if you want to give some highlight of that.
So yes, initially the snatch seemed very difficult to be able to hold on that long.
Okay.
And again, technique comes into play, and technique really is always, for me, is always going to be developing. I will today pick up the bell and find something more to have adjustments on and improve. But the fact that you would be up over your head and then down, it just didn't seem possible. So at least the long cycle with this intermittent kind of pause on top was the one that we started with. So we selected to do that. And it's not, I would say long cycle is better than jerks. Jerks, once I did do a biathlon finally, because I figured I'd try it. And when I realized I didn't get to relieve myself of the pushing and laying on me, I said, boy, this is tougher. It is definitely one of the tougher of the moves.
Yes.
And in the beginning stage, 2 times I did a 16 kilogram biathlon, which in both episodes on the snatch, I lost the bell at the end, but that's okay. It taught me something.
Okay.
And when it came to making the selection to go to the championship, also, we didn't have, because we've been in this so long, the older veterans, aged people, we didn't have a choice. And it was only initially snatch that was offered, and it was the one thing women could do until they did approve long cycle for the championship, and now have even gone into double bell. So the thing that escapes me is, like I said before, a 24 kilogram snatch or a long cycle with one arm, that's one thing, but double 24 is just is something to dream
It's
of.
a different world, yeah, altogether. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But I will also tell you, what pushed me a few years ago to achieve Master of Sport and in pursuit of Snatch then, after I did long cycle, was Senya. She was very young, and I watched her. I also had the opportunity to spend time and interview her, talk to her. It was something that I felt, no matter what age, as long as you apply yourself and given yourself any amount of time to reach for that 200 repetitions, which is a kind of a golden marker, and above they're achieving. But I said, if she can do it, I could do it, and I will work towards something like that. But I still say that anyone at any point can achieve that. Your training, and again, the persistence is what's going to get you there. So I'm still on that quest, but hitting triple digits was a landmark too, hitting the 100 mark in the Snatch, and then going on from there to achieve Master of Sport.
Yes.
But there are these stepping stones, and then there are these realizations of what can you do to make it easier. And that's the key factor in the technique. It's not all this hard, heavy strength as in weightlifting. It's a little bit different, because there is that calmness and relaxation and maintaining composure, which it took me a long time to just get that aspect.
Yes. What is your mindset? Like, what do you think before you get onto the platform, Valerie? I mean, for me, this question is very important, because at times, we are not in a mood of lifting, even on the competition, because of the environment. But what do you think really when you really get onto the platform? What is your thinking process? Do you prepare yourself prior to competition or on that day? Like, maybe if you want to throw some highlight on this.
This is important, because earlier years, I can't believe I did focus on this, was whether I would be able to hold on to the bell, and when and how many I could get before I was going to drop it. And if I continued to think about the dropping it and the fear or consideration of that, well, that's what I was going to do, because it was in my mind. Again, this was the part of the letting go. And once I loosened up about, just do all that you can do, definitely to the max. And I will tell you, supplements and nutrition also help to calm that frenzy and that frantic nature of working to get the numbers, and just particularly put the effort into technique. And technique yielded, again, a less brutal outcome. And this is something I think in America with weightlifting, and when you hear people that are going to crush their workout or it killed them, and then you have to kind of step away a little bit from that. And I also started to teach and coach people, the kettlebell is your friend, the kettlebell's your buddy, that you better, make nice with it. And when you think about the weight ratio, it's really no match for your body, not just your arm or your hand, but your entire being and your body. You beat it. You can. So that mindset, and when I would go up there, and you just said it, when I went to, it was at WKSF at the Arnold, and I was a little bit disoriented, because I had plans for other things to be going on there, and I was spending a lot of time, and I woke up that morning and I said, I don't even want to be here. And when I got onto the platform, I didn't put any expectations upon myself, and I just kept on lifting my mood. And my coach, he was pushing me, and I really wanted to change my hand, and he was shaking his head no. And I kind of gave it that attitude like, okay, let's just see how this goes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And what we didn't know was I could go as far as I could, and that's when I hit 121. So that's my all-time highest level. And again, it was in a state of being in mind that was unlike all the other times. So I think that made a big difference.
Yes. When you're on the platform, do you really check your numbers, or do you also see your competitor when you're lifting?
Oh yeah, I try not to look at anybody else. No.
Yeah. Okay.
I definitely, there's some communication aspect of the people there. The spectators, you can pick up and hear or see, or if they're telling you to cheer you on, you got to get another one or something like that. But and I think that this is what we always publicize in a way, or promote, is to the aspect, it's you against you first and foremost. And I would always look at other people's numbers, and I would always try and figure out, well, how did you get there? What did you achieve? It doesn't matter. Everyone is individual. And so what was going to be good for me to take on as my pacing, my technique, how I was going to calculate and make my numbers, or how many reps on the one side that I would eventually achieve. I couldn't believe you're right that he made me stay. I really.
Okay. Yeah, got it. There was
Is
a
the
little
signal
disturbance.
okay?
Yes. Great. So we were also talking about nutrition and supplementation. How important is that during kettlebell lifting in on-season and off-season? So do you follow certain nutrition and supplementation regime during the competition at your age, or do you just have a regular nutrition? Are you
Absolutely.
like a vegan, ketogenic? What nutrition plan do you follow? You just eat?
No way.
Like,
no, I tried the vegetarian and leaning towards it. When I went to Seattle, it was not a good switch for me, and I really felt the lack of energy.
yes.
My nutrition has been isogenic since 2009 when I started all this. So for a good long time with that tried and true.
Okay.
And part of the reason why I set a record in Ireland was they sent me with some demonstration supplements to test, and that was the turning point. There's 3 different things that have physically and immediately you can sense will affect you. And number 1 was the creatine. The creatine was able to let you last longer without that fatigue and burn and a horrible sense of feeling. The Nox is a shot which also gives you oxygenation, and it's based upon beet juice concentrate and other just natural things. There's nothing artificial, and there's nothing in any banned substance on these things. And then the E-shot was an energizer, but they all have adaptogens, which means they fight the stress.
Okay.
So I actually also feel this sense of a calmer, more
relaxed.
Yes, absolutely. Because remember I said to you in the beginning, it was always this frantic episode, and you can't operate like that.
Yes.
So now with this more calm, relaxed idea, but yet strength and no constraints, when I could breathe the whole time, like total game changer.
Yes.
Who wouldn't want to be able to breathe?
Yes.
So the Nox did that for me. And again, this is since 2009, every single day without fail. At an age of almost 58, I can do better. Always. So the recovery process is dependent upon what you nurture and fulfill and repair your body with. And if you don't have the right ingredients for a recipe, it's not going to come out good. Our bodies don't have to decay, but we also can't rely just upon simple foods. It's missing the vital minerals that we need that our body can't manufacture. So I'm proof positive of all this, and I've never been injured at this sport whatsoever over all this time. And I have to attribute it to that because my tendons, my ligaments, my muscles, all are in tremendous, and bone, tremendous health. And it's a fueling of the system. Yeah, I swear by it. I could point out to you also a number of different people that are using the same isogenic substances. And without a doubt, Carter, it was great to see him. Actually, in Italy, he set a record
Yes.
and achieved Master of Sport with using the Knox shot
Okay. Okay.
and the amped nitro. That's
Yes.
it's
Yes.
key. It's
Yes.
just key.
Yes. And he's an incredible lifter. Yeah. So, like he's doing really great. I think he did 141 reps in biathlon jerk. I think there was a video of him. He's doing really great. I
Yes,
really look forward to meet him in the next
I'm his
competitions.
number one fan. I love him. I love him. He's wonderful. He's such a great lifter.
Yes, yes, yes. Great. In this past so many years of training, have you faced any kind of injuries, or have, like, for example, if you're training people for kettlebell sport who are over 40 or over 50, have they encountered any kind of injuries? Whether it is a pre-existing injury which has come up, or maybe existing injury. What is your take on this?
Well, the one thing is the hands and the grip.
Hmm.
And I definitely have learned on 2 occasions, people get over anxious and they want
Yes.
to achieve something faster than is. And I get excited for them as a coach and play into it too much and accelerate with them. And it's hand and grip, maybe some wrist things, minor things though. Never has there been,
Bigger one, yes. Okay, like a big muscle.
never has there been anything detrimental in someone's major parts. We overcome those things by changing direction, but it's from wanting to lift too heavy too soon.
Okay, got it.
And following the protocol and not skipping any weight loads or what you can achieve in repetitions at that weight load, or breaking it back down and doing a pre-progression to it, because you've got to work on the technique and you're just not there at that capacity for that length of time. So your reasons for why and where you want to follow that road into the achievements, it has to follow along with what your body's capable of if you do have a pre-existing. I will tell you, so many pre-existing conditions have been remedied by this.
Yes.
And I've come to find that anyone who trains for our sport will absolutely improve their sport, no matter what sport it is. And that's not so much to say that of other sports to even our sport, but hands down, your linkage through all of your musculature and your bones, your tendons, your ligaments, everything receives this almost equal and continuous engagement and use.
Yes.
So you build a better body. There's no doubt. For all these years that I've been doing this stuff, I've never been injured.
Okay. That's so nice. Yes. That's the beauty of the sport, actually. In comparison with weightlifting or bodybuilding, I mean, we really do not have any athlete who has injured very badly. So that's the real beauty of kettlebell sport. Yeah. Super cool. Do you have a coach, Valerie? And what do you think is the importance of the coach? Do you, after certain years of experience, do you really want to have a coach, or you can train by yourself? What is your take on this? Like maybe it's an important question when it comes to selecting a coach, but what do you think?
I've had experiences with quite a few coaches in kettlebell sport, and each and every one of them, I am grateful and thankful to their input into what it is that I could learn from them and excel. More recently, and why I chose Eminenko Sere is because I wanted to be like Svetlana.
Yes.
She competed all the time, and I admire her so much. And she's an absolute, when you know her backstory also is at the age of 15 out of nowhere. So it's a good story for the people that you are targeting with this interview in the audience.
Yes.
She did not ever do any physical exertion. She went to the gym and she wanted to lift the kettlebell, and the rest is history. She found coach and they went onward, and she really puts her heart and soul and life to this sport. Yes. So I have a high regard for that. And when I decided to do this and achieve the things that I wanted to follow in those footsteps and really have the success. So because I thought that was the pathway to go, I was with them. And then in the more recent years, I would have to just tell you honestly, it was just a financial decision. and also to continue on and apply just some of what I've learned over all these years and perhaps some other things to prepare and get onto the platform now. That's about it. The last person I talked to was Marty.
Okay.
And we got together and we had a session and, some discussions over some things and some input. But at this point now, I'm in my own coaching status.
Okay. Super. Great. We would like to know your best numbers till date. Maybe marathon, maybe 1 for 10-minute long cycle, and maybe a snatch record if you have done your best numbers. Done in the US or maybe overseas?
So it was WKSF in Ohio. That was 121 for a 24 kilogram snatch. That's my best, top of the top. The long cycle, I think it's 96 when I made Master of Sport. I don't know that I broke 100 in long cycle.
Okay,
because once I hit Master of Sport on long cycle, the concentration was put into snatch, and long cycle became the secondary lift.
Okay,
but I stick with it.
Okay,
but in 12 kilogram snatch, 252 in Ireland was a world record and still holds.
Yeah.
And that's veterans category.
And do you do marathon? Half marathon?
Oh, I did the marathon. Yes, I did the marathon in Italy, and that was a 6. No, did I do it with a 12? I did it with a 12, and it was long cycle. 300 or 400. I have to look at that. I have to look. I'm not sure about that number, but that was that was daunting. That was
yes.
That was very long. I dabbled on the home front in training to do a marathon with a 12 on snatches. So I did. It wasn't official. The long cycle was official, but it's interesting again with my newfound feeling and sense of calmness and serenity. That plays a big role.
Yes.
And just breaking it down into, if you can change every 5 minutes, it's really just, the half marathon, 3 sets.
Yes.
And I give people who do it with 24 all the credit in the world. Oh my gosh.
Super. Nice. So nice to hear that. We are almost on the end, and I would be really happy if you can give a very strong message to the women lifters out here in India, what they have to follow in order to grow the ladder of success, slow, steady, and be there permanent. Your message to them.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's absolutely the greatest opportunity for the women of India. It is such a great time to come into this sport, being that it is well established, highly recognized, and we're striving to make an achievement in the realm of World Games and Olympics in the future. We're still headed that way, and we're still pushing for it. I know the women of India are absolutely thriving and breaking all kinds of records in other sports. Well, this is one that they should absolutely take an advantage of. It also, I say to people that once you get that serenity and that calmness, it's like a Zen moment when you can get into that zone, whether people have the runner's high or you can get a kettlebell high. It's a beautiful thing too in movement.
Yes.
So I have no doubt that with the newly ignited drive and ambition of women in India, this is a place for them to go, and a group and a community that they will be greatly welcomed into. That's another aspect. We all really support one another because we know what it takes and what it's like.
Yes.
I started off humbly and light and made my way up, and again, tried not to over exceed expectations because you don't need that setback.
Yes.
Follow the protocols, but get out there, because at any age, no matter what. We have a lot of the veterans, they're striving, thriving. Anyone can become really strong and very qualified at this to compete at the levels that we've been competing at for a while. And I can see people that can come along a little bit more on a faster track because of the knowledge and the coaching and the information we can bring.
Yes, super. Thank you very much, Valerie. It was so valuable time of yours and so valuable information of yours which you have given me via podcast. I wish you good luck. I wish you all the best for the kettlebell sporting events in near future. And I'm sure you should be able to make a way through to come down to WKSF event in Portugal, which is next year.
That's right. Judy told me right away, and I said, "Oh, Portugal's beautiful, I've been told." So I said, "If Judy's going, I'm going."
Great. You guys are like interacting pretty much 1 or 2 times a week, or?
Yeah, we're good friends. We're very good friends, and we egg each other on. But she's crossed into the 60 and over,
And you're
so I'm
heading
kind
to the 60s.
It's a good time because I can get in this category and she could be over in that category, and I might be able to, take some accolades.
Yes. Great.
Thank you very much. I'm very
you.
happy to spend the time with you today.
Thank you for the information, and I really look forward to meet you in the next competitions.
Yes.
Thank you.